Hello, my friends. Again, I say welcome to another episode of John Sports Corner. And you know what? Traditionally, we wear caps. Okay, like baseball players, you're not allowed on the field if you're not wearing a cap. But let
Can
me
I
say,
go for my cap?
yes, man.
Eh? I'm going to go for my cap, man. I'm a cap man, you know.
Okay. So let me say welcome again to another edition of John Sports Corner. John Sports Corner has been taking the world by storm. The diaspora across the board understand that we have a consistent sports program that is not limited to any one particular sport, but at the same time, we will give you in-depth coverage of particular sports by the guests that we have on our programs at different times. So we have covered gymnastic, we have covered swimming, we have covered netball Jamaica, we have covered let me just stop talking, okay, and turn you over to John Sports Corner, Hall of Fame cricketer John Sports Corner. Take it away, John.
Thank you so much, Trevor, and a very good afternoon to our friends and family. Again, thank you for visiting and staying with John Sports Corner, the Sosa Bone Media Network, the Global Caribbean Media Capital. Before my special guest, former Jamaica international footballer, for those of you who play soccer, you know, but this is football, the real football.
Real thing.
And certainly president of the newly formed the Jamaica Class Players Association, Neville Oxford, joins us. Let me remind you to go to the Winner's Circle Radio store in the Sosa Bone shop. Shop till you drop. There are t-shirts there. We got mugs there. We have sorrel there. We have backpacks there. And certainly the great Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee is available. Never. Welcome to John Sports Corner. Certainly happy to have you join us this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm grateful to be on your program, John. A real pleasure to be on your program. And I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it immensely.
Before we talk about the formation of the Past Players Association, let us talk a little bit about, a few other things, I guess. And first, and I want to take you back to your high school days
Oh boy, oh boy.
when a Brazilian team
Oh boy.
came to Jamaica and wanted to take you back with them. Why didn't you go
All
or
right.
couldn't go?
Okay, that's a long story. Anyway, in 1964, the KC Old Boys brought down we were playing so well, I must say, that we won the Manning Cup quite easily. 6-love, 8-love, a lot of. So they all brought this Brazilian under 23, under 23. And we were like 16, 17, 18. And I had an excellent, because one of the players who came down was Rildo. Now, Brazil, Rildo is the left back for Brazil's international team, He was on that team, and he was playing left back, and I was on the right wing. Another excellent game against him, Till the players were saying, this is the big Brazil left back, and a youngster tormenting him. Anyway, after the game, we got a lot of accolades. We played 2 matches. They beat us the first match 2-1, and the second match drew 1-1. And to this day, we should have won that match because I broke away in about 5 minutes to go. And if I just rolled it in the corner with that one, I went for 4. So I go and fix him up, and I hit on the upright and came back out. And let me tell you something. after the game, Foggy Burrows, everybody must have heard about the great Foggy Burrows. He was the KCO boy, sports master, sports lover of all. He came in the change room, and shook me up and said, Oxford, Oxford, Oxford. Part of Jamaica history does that showing. And I remember George Thompson saying to leave the boy alone, my boy, I'll stick the boy else enjoying himself. But it was so impressive that the Brazilian came into the changing room. That time it was Pena and the Brazilian coach. And they said, this one here, yes, we would like, and they started negotiations. Now, they came down to my house in Vineyard Town. And I never forget, it was Pena, it was the Brazilian coach and the Brazilian attaché. This is when from the embassy. And I speak in the Portuguese and saying, Mrs. Oxford, every Brazil have 1,000 forward, 1,000 link man. When them would have want to come to Jamaica and take somebody. But my old lady quietly said to them, the boy must go take him A-levels because granted we've been socialized that way, education, but they kept on saying, Mrs. Oxford, him can go to university or whatever after, Every Brazilian kid would have died for this opportunity to go play with a Brazilian professional team. But the old lady quietly said to them, my son is going to do his A-level. Anyway, because, but you see, remember at that time, Brazil is World Cup champion 58, World Cup champion 62, and going to England 66, So they were prime, they were the epitome of football at that time. So every Brazilian youngster, you get a chance to play the professional team. And John, I can say it now, I've never said it. It's 30,000 US dollars them offer. Transfer. 30,000.
Back in those days.
I'm a billionaire. I could have bought 10 house but you see, I just say come back. I have mixed feelings because I went up and played professional again in the States as well. But I have mixed feelings about that when I reflect on that opportunity. Because I think I was stable enough to know how to manage that. If I even went and played 2 years and with my academy, I could, that would be a major start for me. So, but that is how life is. I have mixed feelings, I say, but that is parents at that time, education. But the world change. Sports is major business now, especially. With the sports offshoot, analytics, sports marketing, sports medicine, all the things associated. But then I can't do nothing about it. But one thing I remember, my mother made 102 and when she was in her 90s. Because she's a person who read a lot. She read a lot. And she said, Neville, I should have said Neville Brazil. In her 90s. Because she had start to read and understand the sports, on a level. But that is how it is. But so that is a story, sir.
You played internationally though as a teen. Yeah. How did that come about?
Well, remember I got called up to the Jamaica team as a schoolboy. But myself, it was myself, Tony Keys, and there was a fella named Sanguinetti and Lloyd McLean. We got called up while we were playing Manning, to join the national team. With that time, the Brazilian coach there was Jorge Pena. And, we were playing good football because in our time, Manning Cup team, we didn't play against any other schoolboy team. We played against mostly business, Division 1 teams and beat them badly, Remember YMCA with City Bartlett and Largy, Slash and Esterine. We beat them 4-0 down at Melbourne. We beat our club Cavaliers too with Duncan. Beat real way badly, so coming into the mind, we're, I would say we're cut above the rest. So when we went through, remember the team who came second in 64, George's got 6 love from us.
Yeah.
So, you know, Kingston take that 10. I mean, we're better than them. So Penna saw and he was impressed. And when I played my first game for them, I scored. I'm one of the very fortunate ones. I scored in my first match for Jamaica against Netherlands Antilles.
Mm-hmm.
It is a ball come across and I just hook it in. But not very many players can say them scoring on them first international. So, I was very proud. And we played for the love of it, Remember, not much money was there, Them time
Mm-hmm.
people don't like now, are professional. People leave them work and go play for Jamaica. You just, after later on that, it was Penna said, look here, man, these people were represent them country. And some of the private sector people didn't want to release them to say give them a time off so they can go. You're going to represent your country,
Yeah.
That's changed now, thankfully. So you see,
You was, as you
evolve
mentioned, yeah, as you mentioned, though you played professionally. What was that experience like?
great. First of all, twice a day training, rigorously. You get up, when I played with the New York Generals, as you must know. And we went to, professional teams tend to go before, call it spring training, before you go up to the real thing. And
Mm-hmm.
we went down to Hollywood in Miami, in Florida. And we spent a month there, just, and the first 2 weeks, we had an English trainer, Fred Goodwin, come from Manchester. For the first week, it's pure running.
Yeah.
That's typical. Football is a running game, not but as it came, I said, run for your money, boy, run for your money. Morning and evening, before you touch a ball, But the English, as opposed to the South American tend to run with the ball. But the English at that time, boy, you're just running cross country. And then we came up to New York and we're out at CW Post. We're in Long Island University. Was, CW Post. That's where we were.
Mm-hmm.
But it was
Uh,
the experience, I can just tell you. Some of the people we met, I remember we have a guy named Cesar Menotti. That is the coach for Argentina when Argentina won, 76.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was with us, guy named Cole Prince. Good players, but there were some of them apart. Sidney Bartlett came up with him and Paul Thomas. That was,
Oh, T, yeah.
yeah. And then Arthur Asher Welch went to Baltimore. Murty Scott and the Pierce went to Atlanta. So the Jamaica team was just, most of us left at that. That was about 67.
Mm-hmm.
Experience what I'm telling you. Now what some of the guys, they were playing English and some of them play first division, Mansfield and Birmingham. Anyway, what they said to me first, like they said, why do you leave a warm country and come up to these colder climes? I say I'm just, things say how much money, you must get in better money while you leave. You come up to that cold country. Not knowing I'm just a schoolboy leaving out of school telling them no, I'm just, learning the thing. And what I found out that you see, you train twice a day, but like says training starts like 8:39. You run till 9 till 2 hours, 2.5 hours. You know what? In between that, the guys they make contact because some of them know the system, make contact with them agent who get them there. Is any opportunities available? Book, whatever sign autograph if people want you come on. So that aspect of the pro life, a lot of people don't understand. Even public speaking is something why I teach you.
Mm-hmm.
That's how a professional be. And then you go back 2 o'clock in the evening and repetition, I sit down and take in corners for like half an hour, just corner.
Mm-hmm.
Most have memory, So
Mm-hmm.
doing it, you do something, they automatically just come natural. So that's why it's, the repetition. And that's what a professional is at. But it was a wonderful experience. you're playing amongst all the great, you speak some great players who you hear about before and you see them in life. When I saw Pele play the first time, never forgot that. They're playing, I think Santos was playing Benfica, yeah. UCA was playing for Benfica. Pele was playing for. And as a ball was coming over, high ball, and you see 3 men gang up come for Pele. I see that, and I say, right, what him going to do? I never forget that. And him just did a chest pass, and the ball went down, cushion it, went down, and Edu came behind it and kick it. And the ball hit the upright, and the whole stadium, great. Never forget that. Yeah, man, but that is great. I enjoy those things.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you talk about that period when you left to come here, and Art and Asha,
Yeah.
and Roddy Pierce,
And
I never forget, Neville, at the time we were leading the club, Division 1
yeah.
and Division 2.
Yeah.
And we were looking forward to that Division 2 final, But then when you guys left and don't move guys up from Division 2 to Division 1 well, everything just fell apart that year.
But remember who won in 65?
Yes, yeah.
Remember, we gave Liga Nimona 7-2.
Yeah, but
I think Clint Delapina scored the 2 goals for Liga Nimona. Yeah, man. Never forget that 7-2 there. I got 2, I think. I got 2, Never forget that final, man. That was the one.
In the professional arena, Neville, what adjustments were required of you in game preparation for you?
Well, this first of all, the discipline. When them say, okay, like say we're traveling, we live in New York and we're going to California, or we have some out of town match. When them say everybody report at 8 o'clock to the airport, you don't come there at 7:45, You come there at 1 hour before. You with me? And the pros, you come there one because if you're in a contingency, you have to put. So these are the big pros, Now if you come there late, I'm going to tax your pickpocket, And if you do that again, them can cut you, Some players sign no cut contract, but what I'm talking about is the discipline.
Yeah.
This is about the discipline. A professional has to act and those things. Even in terms of, for instance, your diet. For instance, you know what you have to eat to keep your weight down. And you report that them weight, Them weigh every now and to see if you're keeping your weight down because you have to be in that shape. The continence will play good. So that those things you learn and you keep. But you have different players, try and because the English are famous for after a game, them drink about 6 beer and enjoy. But they run it off. But what I learned from that is that your discipline, your diet, exercise, get your rest your legs especially. No only for riding up and down and rest your legs are funny, right? Yeah, so that is some of the things.
What then is if you want to call it, the highlight of your playing career?
I had several. I think okay. I think that match here against the Brazil under 23 got to go down as one of my best games. Why? Because I was playing against seasoned professionals. And when I say really, I don't know if you saw the game.
Yeah, man, I was there.
But we had an exceptional game, Because people were saying, hey, Lord, this is a youth, this is a youngster take on the Brazilian, and like, I played with no fear. Because I remember George T always say, a man is a man. Because before the games, I'm telling them how much them going to give away You know, people Jamaica
Yeah.
can't you and say you're going to get 6 love today, but a man is a man, and I played with no fear.
Mm.
I had another good game in 1967 in the CONCACAF. I don't know if you remember the CONCACAF. We had this CONCACAF game. And against, I think it was Trinidad or Haiti. I think it was Haiti. And why Haiti was always a good team, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Haiti used to give us a hard time in the early days.
Mm-hmm.
Had a great game against Haiti. I remember playing against a guy named Obas, big, strong. When you see the man shining, you know, another game. And then the best, another great game, I think, we had an all schools team going down to Trinidad in 1966. That is the time when we met up against. That's the first time I saw Gally Cummings and Archibald
Archibald.
and Dillian.
Mm.
I think we had that team. That team was an exceptional team, you know. Went down.
Yeah.
I think Motti Scott was the captain. Skill went with me. Sanguinetti, Lydan Bowler Morant. Some great players was on that team. Leslie Lucas was the goalkeeper. That was a fine all schools team that went down. And I had some good games here. But I have played in other games. But I think those 3 games, you see, when people, you good players solve problems on the field. And they say you don't give a good player space and time. And once you become a mark man, people say, boy, not so bad, you know. But, so you're not going to get that much space and time. And I managed to get out of that. And another one too, 75, when I came back to them, 75 or won the Major League, man. I think I got the player, the player of the tournament, man. So you remember Cavaliers won, it would be Ellison Flats. Maybe you were aware that time, John.
As a matter of fact,
We'll beat Ellison
that
Flats.
was the year that the first game of the playoffs, and we had Calabar Old Boys.
Yeah, you remember.
And them was giving us the devil in that first half.
Yeah, you have a good memory, Dad. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Had a good game. That series 75. That was the leading goal scorer, and I got the what you call MVP for the tournament. So that must have been pretty good. But
that was the year to when Mosa Dread came into the league for the first time.
Well, John, you're bringing up things like House of Dread with skill and go to town.
Yeah, go to, yeah.
Charles Stewart and all of them, you know. Bob Marley. I remember on the wing, you know, because I play on the wing on the bleacher side and I saw a thick film of smoke. if you wasn't strong, you get intoxicated. Because that, man. And then it was Bob Marley was pushing that team, you know.
Yeah.
Bob and Skill them and Thompson and was quite a few.
I remember that match never because
remember,
I think they scored first.
Yeah, and I got that too. Yeah.
And a guy, a supporter.
Yeah, with the
for House of Dread. Leave when the really start and run around by the time you reach the 200 equal.
Yeah, man, I got the first two. Yeah, man. Yeah, I never forget. That's another good memory. But some good memories, yeah, man.
So, what about disappointments, Neville?
Disappointments, well, first, we would have won 64, 65, and would have won 66. I would have been the captain for KC at that time. But they had a fracas down in Montego Bay. And they I think they attacked a referee down in Montego Bay. And we didn't have nothing to do with it in Kingston. But the principals and the headmasters decided to abandon the entire Manning and the Costa Cup. And trust me, John, the defense was ear tight, you know. My defense was Weber Stewart, Billy Perkins, Stuart Stevenson, and Roy Black, you know.
Yeah.
That is year tight. We couldn't lose, I tell you. Because I was going to the 3 times. That was amazing. And the thing about it, we had trained hard for that, because we wanted to get the triple. And we did not, we there, and it's late in the season too, because we were playing practice matches. And
Yeah.
about a week before the season started, the principal just said no. But not understand, I think that was really a great disappointment.
Yeah.
Great disappointment. Another
Are
thing,
there, yeah. No, you go.
No, another thing is the lack of professionalism I have seen. Well, I must say, don't care what they say. Cavaliers, when you come to discipline, that's why I have always stayed at Cavaliers. Some top players go to Boys Town, Santos, Real Mona, but one of the things that I really admire is the discipline. A young player can say we're going to 5 laps and season pro just following. So but I've noticed, I noticed the latter part, I would say, in the late 70s, going up to the 80s, the discipline fell down and people weren't treating the game how it's supposed in a professional manner. And that is a great disappointment. People, go and party and come play game, and I don't like that. You have to respect the game, but you don't. So that is one some of the disappointment. But we have, we're back now. We managed to qualify for World Cup, and I hope this time around, we can't ask for an easier draw. So.
But before we get there, Neville, are there players you enjoyed playing with and why?
Yeah, oh gosh. Several players. I like playing with skill pole. I like because let me preface that. I met Skill in 1962. I was the Colts captain at KC. Skill came to KC in 1962, and he made the Colts team as a first farmer, and that was we won the competition in 62. His ability, his ball control was impeccable. And he had vision to pass that ball. Sometimes pass, you don't miss the stride, just kick the ball in right goal. Because it was so, that was his strength. I like to play with Diego Gordon too. Diego had a brilliant football mind. I remember going up to, I think we went to Puerto Rico. The man was giving some pass. He understood the game. Playing with Morty Scott too, because the Morty played like behind me, like, and him always come down, Sammy, come down, and when we back up a player, him can't escape. A lot of great. Art Welch too, man. Oh gosh, how could I forget? I don't think Art Welch get his full due,
Yeah.
Don't think I don't. People tend not to talk about Art Welch. I think he's one of the top himself. Lindy Delapena. I played against Lindy. I never played with him, but I remember him score when he came back to Jamaica. Must say he was in his late 40s, and him scored 2 terrific, one in the left corner, one in the right corner. So that there. City Bartlett. I played with in New York. So another. But when I played with his CD, he was past his best. But I saw him as a player, as a youngster coming up. In the world, to call him. Several players. Lag, he was another fierce competitor. He never liked how young players coming in and trying to dominate. Fathers have this way to say, because people come in and want to take our job. Yeah, man, I've played several great players. So sometimes don't forget, but that is, forward.
I enjoy listening to, now that I'm living here, sports programs in Jamaica, from Jamaica.
Yeah.
But I only wish that
You were
Jamaican football fans would talk more about your Jamaica Premier League
Yeah,
or
yeah.
talk as much
It's
about the
about the
Premier League.
Arsenals and the Chelseas and the
Yeah,
Liverpool.
yeah.
I say that every day I talk to them. They don't even know about some of the top teams. But they will kill you if you're Arsenal or a Liverpool or a Chelsea. It's good international football, but come on, man. You must know
Mm.
your local team as well. I think maybe only Arnett Garden has a strong following. And now the team, Mount Pleasant, seem like them building up a strong following out in
St. Anne.
yeah. In fact, they won last night. They were top in the group in the Caribbean Cup. They won last
You're right.
night.
Mm.
But I agree with you. We know
Do you
more.
think, you see, do you think if our football fans followed our teams with the same passion as they do English Premiership, that the league may attract more corporate attention?
Of course. Of course, John. That is what we need. In fact, this the PFL, the professional, they were trying to market in such a way that they were telecasting the games, you know. Some fell through, but I think they're on the up again, trying to get it. You must televise the games, and the surfaces have got to improve. That is a thing. What it's we don't pay enough attention. Surfaces, good surfaces render good footballing. And if we don't do that aspect of it. But
Right.
you're right, what you said, we have to pay more attention to our local. I don't mind it's an international game. And but the television, you see them bombarded with television. If a thing is seen every day, them going gravitate towards that.
Right,
So
right.
we want to have more of it and support your local team.
If corporate Jamaica promoted outstanding Jamaican players as they do
Yeah.
athletes, would that kind of change the perception
And,
of the Premier League and their players?
done. In fact, I wrote a paper way back in 1980. You see how a D&G could take on a Boys Town, have a squad, professionalism, paid players, all the do's and just another business venture. Just like how Separate could have taken on it. Look at it as a business, like how Mr. Abramovich tells was a rich man. But if the football, all the great teams of the world, John, is a business, is a corporation, take them and run it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
business guidelines. You know what I say? It can be
Mm-hmm.
done. That just name two teams, a cement company and Harborview.
Mm-hmm.
Just another proper guidelines. Like I'm not running a business.
Mm-hmm.
I just go and digress a second. I've been fortunate to go to the Santiago Bernabeu, Real Madrid. And it's not just football, There's a museum where you can the bus have a link with the tourist board in Madrid. I'm sorry. Whereby the people just coming in and them, what them paying them 25 euros for watch the greats of the past, Di Stefano, Puskas, and the bus is just coming on. You have a department store, big like halfway tree, buying a t-shirt signed by one of the great, Carlos, Robert, whatever. 75 euros and the place drum, You have a 5-star restaurant, You pay the equivalent of 100 and odd much dollars for a meal. Granted, that is on a higher scale, but no football is playing yet, but money is being generated. You have
Yeah.
gym. You have the gym where you can rub shoulder with the kids and that full. But that template, the point I'm making, John, is not just football. And when footballer plays 80,000, and you have the people who buy them ticket, the supporters who buy them ticket long in advance, 2, 3, 4 years. So the point what I'm okay, come back to a smaller scale in Jamaica. We must understand, corporate must understand football like any other sport. It's a business. But the
Mm-hmm.
problem I think we have in Jamaica, if we want to play tiddlywinks or jacks, who want to win. We don't, the economy is not that. We should take 5 or 6 sports: track and field, football, cricket, maybe netball, and concentrate. Yes, the others can join in, but the economy that we have cannot, accommodate that. You see what I'm saying, John?
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
want to take football to look at Uruguay. I use a Uruguay. Them don't know nothing about football, you know. Them win to work. If them are run,
Mm-hmm.
never have no India. A one gold medal them have, you know. For the population. But we want everything we are deal with. If you are play jacks one. But those things, unless them generating. But we have to get a module where corporate realize football is a business. Just like how them jumping on board with the track and field now. All of a sudden people realize how we can generate user in the building. Shelly Ann is a icon all over the world
Mm-hmm.
using. But the thing though, the copyright has to be done. Because
Mm-hmm.
just use my image and making money. You with me? That is
Yeah.
what in the music industry, man. It's true and get a £10. But how somebody else own the catalog. That when that thing play all over 10, 15, 20 years time, the man who have the catalog getting money. Just digress a second there, John. So that is I
But
want
but
to make that example because that is how it has to go.
but all right. So look at a past player like yourself.
Mm.
Has a company ever approached you to say as ambassador or
So,
to advertise
look,
something for them?
okay. I wasn't too bad on the academics, I have a degree in a computer science. I was
Yes, yeah.
I am very fortunate because remember I went to England as well. I did a degree in a computer science. So I the balance, I could see the balance because a sportsman career is very short. And
Mm-hmm.
if you don't like using the big bucks early that you can just you with me? You're going to have something because you're going to live, and I am 77. You're going to live, so you are in a position that you can do something else because money can done you anyway.
That's
But
right.
fortunately, I set up a business. I did websites and them things.
Mm-hmm.
So I was prudent enough to have a company, Millennium Solutions, for which we did some good things. And I consider myself fortunate, but as you say, nobody corporate come to you. They will come maybe like for instance when they see like what I'm doing now. My little give back here to the Jamaica football past players. They seeing me trying because it's a non-profit charitable organization, and they see the tenets and everything is written clearly, and they see what we're doing to help past players who going through sickness, dementia, destitution. So things like that. I get in really reasonable good support because it's a giving back. And companies who we give, they can get a tax right. But nobody, no company has ever said, never come and talk. Even what my high school has done, I'd give motivational talks. But no, because I guess we just reaching a point. I thought we'd have reached that point long ago. Where
Mm-hmm.
where we understand the link between sport, business, culture, music. The two
Mm-hmm.
boy don't jump on board on that. Even look on this, the world championship. I think they will miss another golden opportunity. They should be down there marking, and Japanese like to come to them. Japanese like our music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, I don't know the powers that be. Sometimes the vision is not there. Well,
You think, but what you think never is that we have not moved from the amateur
yeah,
status
we still
to
not,
the
we don't
professional
fully.
ranks.
I thought we would have, when we qualified there in '98. I thought we were coming out of, but we
Yeah.
stagnated and went back. Granted, Captain Burrell, but we stagnated, and then we get a sort of a mediocrity creep back in, which is bad. We're trying to get it back a little bit now with, I said, this club, Mount Pleasant seem to doing, Cavaliers seem to doing something. But we have to have a steady professional base and ethics to carry it. And I think because, John, we mess with, I'm going to get cussed for that, but we can't accommodate all those sports what we want to win at every level. We cannot. We just don't have that economy. Granted, the bobsled man going to kill me and say, oh, but he managed to link with the tourists. That is a good avenue. So I remember that movie that was made, Cool Runnings, linked it with. But sport and music is big.
I know dance all organized.
Yeah. But, it's so much things, the vision, man.
The PFJL lose Chris Williams and Owen Hill over the last few weeks.
Why, that is
Will it impact Premier League negatively?
Yeah, man. Them Owen, but I understand they never accept him resignation. I don't know how that goes. Well, in fact, Owen, the first past players awards function, Owen Hill was a guest speaker, and he really passed on some vital information to some of the people. Or you can the business side of things. Or you have to look at it. Yeah. But I don't know. I think it's in limbo right now with Owen and Williams. I don't know. I don't hear anything recently, but I hope they really come together. Because they were doing a good job, but I don't know. I don't know the deep details of it.
Our men's senior team has not qualified, as you mentioned, for the FIFA World Cup since '98. Is it bad preparation or lack of talent?
No, we have the talent, man. But what I found, you see, you have an influx of players from, especially England. There are players from other places, but we don't seem to get the mix together. Like when Simoes had them back in '98. They were together. In fact, how much Jamaica played about 50 odd matches all over the world. That's all before we qualify. You remember they went hard over, and they didn't. But right now, we have a splinter in players. Even right now, we don't settle on a new class of players. Some new people coming in, they just play the last one. One fellow who scored is his first match. And we're playing again in 2 weeks' time. That is a tricky little match in Curacao.
We have 2 games in this month.
You should be able to get by Bermuda at home. But Curacao have 4 players playing in the Dutch league, I think them Ajax, So going there, but we have the goods. We have the goods. We should, this draw here, John. I mean, I would be flabbergasted if we don't get to the World Cup with this draw here.
But it has been my position that the JFF has taken the easy way out by continuing to draft. And as far as I'm concerned, it's of second and third rate English players and not focusing on the development of the talent.
And when the local players get a game, they're hungry and them play out them hard. But most of these players who come from England and wherever, they want to get to World Cup game where that will increase their marketability. That is the main thing, Right now, I'm telling you, they just want to get, and then them can go back to them clubs and demand it. But they don't play, for the level of players what we have, John. We shouldn't be struggling with especially this group. Why? Let me keep my fingers crossed. We must go through here, man.
All right, Neville, let's talk about the newly created Past Players Association and why it was created.
It's not so new, Remember, it was really in '97,
Okay.
We were qualified. And some of the members I must pay respect. They're all gone. Noel Chapin, Dickie Cook, Alva Anderson. There was what else was it? Bonnie Goodison, Juicy Bell was part of that early time too. But as I said, it was more a avenue to help players because as the names I've called, they are all full-fledged Jamaican players who've been through the ropes. But fortunately for them, they were professionals in their own right. So they could give some time to, because they understand what is happening. They played with some of them, they see a lot of destitution, they see a lot of players who they played with going through Europe. So that was when it was found. And we carried it to another level in 2008. Apart from being a registered non-profit, we made it a charitable organization. So that way we can get more corporate support from corporate Jamaica to assist us. Because just today, I don't know, Michael Toller had a serious eye operation. He actually came back from Florida, and we managed to get some funds for him to do that major operation and work. You know, we try. That is our main duty right now.
Yeah.
Service is to help past players who are going through a rough time. And appeal to corporate. We write to corporate. And that's a sort of scene because the way things have evolved now, you know. A lot of younger Jamaicans are now seeing that, boy, them hear about some of these players, but them never, we don't record very well, you know.
Right.
Even videos, even back in fact, I'm glad you mentioned that. In my time, they wiped, unfortunately, them said they didn't have any space. Them wiped that Brazilian match, you know, JBC.
Yeah.
But them wiped some of Miss Lou things, so I can really. But for posterity, John, you must keep, if you be able to, we don't understand history, you know.
Yeah.
We don't want to understand the historical perspective. So things you pass on the time. So because some people think football in Jamaica start 98.
Yeah.
So you see what the point I'm making.
Yeah.
That's why when we, you know, the young people don't know about past players of the, you know, of our earlier
Yeah,
time.
but when was it, Neville? 19, was it the 19, was it 58 or 62 World Cup?
Yeah.
When Jamaica it would beat Mexico, we
Mexico,
qualified.
yeah. You remember that match at stop at
And it was like what, 8 teams who play World Cup or 60.
It's one team usually going on, Mexico. Mexico, remember at that time it's just one team. No, it's three,
Yeah.
you know, 3.5.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you also know because US, Canada, and Mexico gone through. So it's like about 7. But that famous match, I don't know if you remember, we had down Mexico, you know, City Battle, it was in them element.
Yes, yes.
We had them
Yes.
down 2-1 in about 67 minutes. You'll never forget that. The ball went into the, you know, in the running, there's the steeplechase water.
Yeah, yeah.
And because Mexicans are very, you remember they are professionals from them time. Mexican professional league, you know, from ever since. They are very, because Mexico had beaten Brazil. Mexico beat everybody, Afghans. But the ball went into the water down there and the guy quickly get it and throw it, you know. And I remember a Mexican guy just kick it, you know. And Dan Clark did so. Ball go through 12.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if I remember that match vividly. And then them rally and beat with 3-2.
Yes, yeah.
They were a professional. Mexico's always been better than us because they had Mexico a professional league from way back.
But at that
Mexico
time,
always reach on the second round, you know, if you notice. And them when them start playing.
At that time, is what? You know much? 8 teams or something like that playing World Cup football. And we are almost 1 game to qualify.
Yeah. But you see, tell Jamaican them don't remember, most of them don't know.
Or even the players who played on that team.
I tell them pass on.
Yeah.
You see, very good point, John. This is the type of history must drill into our people and make them know at that time it's just one team. Not like no 30 odd team and it going gone up to Moreton.
48.
It's an easy ride with the fan right now, John. Anyway, let me
Yeah.
not talk about it. Because if we don't get through this one, John, I would be crestfallen, I must say.
Now, as far as the
Yes.
Past Players
Okay. Yeah.
Association is concerned, is it for national players only or
Yeah. At this point.
Premier League players?
Yeah, well, okay, very good point. We made a suggestion that we want to incorporate all both male and female. But to be honest, John, I never get a good feedback from the JFS. Straight up. Never get a good feedback. But we're going to pursue it some more. And see, because as I say, I don't know how much longer we are getting on some map apart. But I would just like to mention this. The second awards function for the Past Players Association will be held on the 25th
Mm-hmm.
of October at it's now called the Grand Excelsior. That's the old Morgan's about. And the owner must big him up, Mr. Ian Moore has given us the place free and the food. You hear what I say? That is worth thousand. That is worth thousands of that. Mr. Ian Moore, anywhere you are and hear this man, I big you up. Because what he came to the last one when we had the verb, and he said, boy, I never like it. And I'm in a position. Now this is a corporate man.
Yes.
And he said, this is my throwing. And I really appreciate that. So, and this year we're honoring George Bartlett Henry of famous of Arnett Gardens.
Mm-hmm.
And on Skill Code posthumously, as you know, sadly, Skill passed on about 2 weeks ago. That is really sad. So those are the two honorees this year. And I'm getting a good feedback. I think we're going in excess of 200 people.
Okay, that's
Again,
yeah.
getting a good feedback. And it's a Saturday and we're going to start early. Guys, we are out, people don't like drive at night so much, but we're starting at 6. We're trying to start, but by 9. And we have also Mr. Moore has thrown in something, but I am done. There's a gate prize, a weekend at the hotel. Nice hotel. I don't know if you remember Morgan's Harbour.
Yeah, man.
Scenic ambience.
I have some memories there that I can't speak of on
You
the
can't
air.
see. We both can. When Meriton was in them days. No, we can't talk. But the ambience and the scenery.
Yeah.
Boy, talk about
Of course, one of the questions I was going to ask, and you did mention it, if it was open also to women.
Yeah.
Because you do have past players now who are women.
And that's exactly where we're going to. But I put it forward in the tenant because that would be an adjustment we'd have to make the articles of association. But we're looking at that. We look there.
Beside you, Neville, who are the officers of the past players?
Yeah, man. Okay. Our committee is as you said, Michael Tolo, George and me. Michael, I forget to mention. You remember then Hutchinson passed on last year. Remember, he was the GenSec. Yeah, and he passed. In fact, that was tragic. We have Ondell Williams and we have Stuart Stevenson. He's more or less. These people give out. Stuart is a lawyer, attorney.
Yeah.
They give us their services free. And Mr. Cisco Coy, he's a chartered accountant who look about our books and our financial. So that is more or less, those 5 are more or less the committee that we have. And go ahead.
Recently I heard Minister Babsy Grange talk about availability of health insurance programs for athletes.
Yeah.
What do you know about the program, and
Well,
is it open to
I
footballers?
presently, I've not been I know that it's mostly for the track and field people. I've not been notified about it being available to the footballers, but I can do some more research. But I know it's an insurance predominant for the track and field people.
Health insurance.
Yeah, health insurance, track and.
Yeah.
And there's another person, oh yes, so could I find Mr. Neville, Dr. Neville Graham. He's a goodwill person who he has given us any ailment at all. He has given us 40% discount to past players. And we have IDs here, which we all the past players registered have that ID, and he get 40%. Any, because he's a surgeon, He has it going up at what's the name of the place? But he's part of that, a conglomerate of doctors and etc. And he has given us.
And I believe the past players have a voice in the JFF vote.
Yeah, man. I have to take some credit for them because I insisted that we must have a vote in any football matters with the JFF, and we fought tooth and nail. So we are on the tier 2. So any JFF meeting, we attend any voting meeting and any convention. We have 2 votes.
Yeah.
63, yeah. And we push that hard, very hard. That is we made sure that we got a lot of stick to, because we had to get our legal people do all the articles and but finally it's done. So I'm proud about that.
What are maybe some of the other benefits that are accorded the association?
Well, as I said, we get some free. People give us food and apart from cash and kind. Like for instance, can I name them? I mean, I don't know if some of these guys want. Mr. Richard Lake has been very good to us. He's the man who owns Papaya and Burger King. And Rainforest, Mr. Lynn, Roger Lynn. They provide, we go out and get care packages from time to time. We go out in the rural areas and care, because there's a lot of players. John, I'm telling you, past players, some people don't even remember about that. But we try. Mikey Toller has been very good at that, identifying passes. So we get a lot of care packages, mostly food and beverage and that type, which is really a kind gesture. And as I said, the medical thing is also very good. Dr. Neville is really, those are our 2 major factors. And okay, also, well, a little breakdown, we're supposed to get some international passes for the international matches, but we have a little problem. I can say it's I hope we resolve it soon, because that was one of the things we stuck out for. Past players must at least 15, 20, and we don't have to give the same people every time, and people who have 10 international, 20 international, you know what I mean? Rotate it. But those are some of the things.
Now, if people listening are tuned into this program at some point want to make a contribution to the Past Players Association level, how can they go about that?
We have an account at Scotiabank. Can I say it on and John?
Yeah, man.
See, we have an account at Scotiabank, Liga name 65 13 10. That's the account for the past players. 65 13 10 Scotiabank Liga name. And Any support overseas? You have been good in the past. Any support overseas, would appreciate that. Because and we also for we have our financial and our auditors who take care for transparency. Every year
Yeah.
we give a report, audited report. Yeah, man, that is one of the things we stress on.
Mm.
We have our chartered account. That's I mentioned his name. Cisco Coy. He has
Mm.
he's a chartered accountant, near Russell. They have been we're getting some very good support, John. But we want to
Yeah. Yeah.
carry it on another level.
Looking back on your career now, is there anything you may have done differently?
Uh, yes and no. I should have gone to Brazil. Yeah. Yeah. But on reflection, not really. I've had a good life. What I'm really happy about is my health at this stage of the game. I'm feeling
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like I can roll a ball, but the knees creak.
Well, never. If I,
I feel good about my health, and I'm a stress-free type of person. I think because of sports, it teach you how to roll with the punches.
yeah.
I think sports has really changed me. And I'm
I
very,
know
I,
if I ever try something like that, no,
and
my wife put me out.
I, I avoid negative people.
Yeah.
Negative. I try to live stress-free because I find the stress taking out a lot of our people in my age group and younger. You get stressed. And you have to have the balance in this digital world. Come off
Mm.
of the, come off of the smartphone sometime, head down and go outside and walk and have a communication. I went to, just last week, I went to lunch with some young people.
Mm.
And head down the whole time. I said, put down the cell phone and talk, exchange ideas, man. Just
Yeah.
text to the person next door and a chat.
Never. You you never get into coaching.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I did some coaching in it. Remember, I coached myself and Jumpy Harris. I came back to Jamaica.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But a full
yeah,
time
I
thing.
know. I gave Casey and I coached camp the first time camp. I'm proud of this now. Okay, I'm glad you mean. 1978. The first time champion win a manning match in the game. And some of the people I can call and them are still call me coach. Chris Deering, Bunting,
Yeah.
members, and Andrew Reed, and Mr. Sangster son, what's it? Mr. Sangster podcast, his son.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Them also elated, but them never like art training. And a champion, I carry them up Beverly Hills and make them run, hear them with this mad coach come per se.
Or
But
never.
they were appreciative of it.
Yeah.
And I also coach Isaac Henry call me down. They wanna start.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
2 seasons down. But I more like to be on the motivational side, I think.
Right.
I will give talks and I will talk with the blackboard and things. But so what I find, sometimes you tend to want to judge too hard on your standards. And you say, I'm don't control that. So, because you
Yeah.
to be able to do it. And we tend to get a little bit more impatient with some players. But I like the aspect of telling players what them can accomplish and motivate them and give them good luck stories that them people who went before can do it as well. That
Mm.
aspect of it. Yeah. So I've done a little bit, but I never get into it to that level. But because I had my other profession in the IT, I tended to just wear that way.
You talked earlier about the hard training you met when you went into the professional ranks and the requirements.
Yeah, man.
But never, even when we played with Cavalier,
Yeah, man. We had that Cavalier.
I have evidence of popular national players coming to the club And after 2-3 weeks, them
Yeah,
leave
man.
because them say we
Yeah,
train
man.
too
You
hard.
remember we used to run after we done scrimmage, man. You remember, man? And Roy, I
Yeah,
never forget Roy Wells, man. Him
yeah,
running to run, man. Him lift it, you know. Anyway, but this is the thing. Football is a running game, really, you know.
yeah.
And you remember one of our strengths at that time, John, the last 10, 15 minutes in a game.
Last 10-15 minutes,
When
boy.
them
Yep.
Cavaliers running. Yeah, we
All
beat
right.
that team.
What's wrong with them?
Yeah, them running, man. Yeah, but
Yeah,
that is where the extra. Football is a physical and yeah, you have the running game. Nobody can tell it's a running game. You have to run it into position, get the ball, you have to be strong. But don't bother tell me say you can pace it out, you know, slow pace it out. You have to be
yeah,
able
but
to.
in the last few weeks, we lost a couple of friends
Oh
in
yes.
Bob Campbell and Alan
Jerry.
Cole.
Yeah,
Your
Jerry
reflection.
Morito. Jerry Morito. I don't know if you remember
Yes.
Jerry Murray and Vernon Bell. Vernon went to LIU, you know.
Hold
Long
on, Neville. When I was at LIU,
mm,
and was having problems with my cost accounting,
yeah, Vernon good.
David Reed
Oh, Big Reed.
said to me,
Good.
John, why
Good.
you don't ask Neville to help you, Vernon to help you?
Vernon,
I said, him will help him? Say, yes.
yeah, man.
So I called Vernon, and Vernon said, come on.
Yeah,
And
man.
Vernon guided me through the
Yeah,
cost accounting.
good financial brain, yeah, man.
Matter of fact, even when I was thinking about going to do a master's,
Mm.
Vernon said to me, don't do accounting, do finance.
Finance, exactly. Smart, that is a smart way.
Yeah, man, Vernon, God bless him,
Yeah,
boy.
man.
I
So
tell you.
that is for people who just in a short space of time.
Mm,
Short space of time. I understand. I just got a text today that Jerry Morrison is going to be on the 18th of this month, and
yeah,
our skill call is on the 11th next week Saturday, not this Saturday,
yeah.
at the indoor stadium.
Mm,
Indoor. So,
mm,
and you know, Babsy one was massive. I went to that. It was down at Spanish Town.
yeah.
Oh boy,
Well,
that is
Neville,
time.
thank you so much, man, for spending the time with
I
on
enjoyed
John Sports Corner.
it, man. No, I enjoyed it immensely, man.
Yeah,
I
man.
enjoyed it immensely.
And,
But it, it's unnatural, you know, just come, you know, talking to you, come natural, you know. I
yeah.
just tell it like it is because luckily I was there.
And at least I was able to be there to watch you.
Hey, easy,
you know,
man.
and Moti used to call my left foot the clutch foot.
Yeah, yeah,
And
man.
Moti used to say, I just waiting for the ball get on the clutch foot.
Yeah, my motive Scott is some.
I miss Moti. Never we used to talk a lot.
Mm.
And when Moti passed, my wife said to me, so
Yeah,
who
you
you
went
going to
on.
talk to now?
Yeah, yeah.
Because you talk to him every day just about.
Yeah, man. No, but that was,
And,
yeah, man.
hmm.
But,
But
yes,
again, thank you so much, man, for
yeah,
joining
man.
us on
I
John
really,
Sports Corner. And hopefully this will not be the last
no,
time we
for sure. I
talk.
hope not,
Yeah.
yeah.
All
But I
right.
really must say, John, you're doing a good work here. And I enjoyed it immensely. And
Thanks, man.
passing on, you know, we can pass. What we're doing here is for history and show
Yeah.
the whole, you know, in the Jamaican diaspora, you know, little things, tidbits of what used to happen in the past.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. Thanks a
But,
lot.
yeah, man, one love, John.